What is up, YouTube tool tubers of the world? My name is Brad. Welcome to the workbench. Today we're going to look at something of an addiction of mine. And that's squares. Yes, I'm a square and measuring freak. I got more. They're hidden everywhere. I'm going to tell you why I chose the ones I chose and why I keep buying so many damn squares. If you see any of these products you like that I go over, there's going to be links in the description. They're affiliate links. If you like these and you're going to buy them anyways, please throw me $1. Why not? If you don't want to, no hard feelings. We're going to group these into sections. First off, we're going to look at basically what most would consider machinist tools. Some people don't know what these are, especially in the woodworking community, which I don't really consider myself a woodworker because I do like to do some welding. I consider myself more a junk worker. But a good set of 1, 2, 3 blocks have come in real handy for not only checking your squares to make sure your square is square, but I also use them as setup blocks. You can use them on your crosscut sled as a stop block. You can combine them with some of these like Miles Craft fence clamps and use them to keep all your corners square while you're gluing up. That way you don't have to worry about them as much. So those have multiple uses, and you know I am definitely a fan of tools having multiple uses. These two right here are just kind of cheapy ones I picked up along the way. If you're looking at your squares, you want to check the inside and the outside. That one looks good. And if I was to check the outside, I would use something like this from Kinex, which is a pretty expensive one and a precision square. And even these cheapy ones are dead nut square. Now, Kinex was nice enough to send me 2 of their squares here. This is an 8x4. Now, these are a little more expensive. These are a little more precise. And they have varying prices depending upon how precise they are. This 8x4 one with this nice little edge, which is super nice to block up against something else. And then you got a straight edge, you know, if you want to make a mark that's perfectly 90 to this edge. I also use this one setting up my joiner. It's going to run you about 30 bucks, I believe. And then this is another smaller one from Kinex. It is nice to have these smaller squares. I really like the knife edge on these ones. Really allows you to see if something is super flat, and that knife edge helps you get really precise, especially when using feeler gauges. Little one by Kinex, which is 4 by 2 3/4. That one will run you 27. We're going to clear these off, and we're going to come back with another set of squares. Alright, now we're going to look at more common woodworking type squares. If you're just starting out, and you just need a square, you're on a budget, you don't want to spend $30, there is no reason you cannot get by with one of these. These can help you set up your saw. You can got a 45 and a 90, and if you know how to use one, I'm not going to go into it, you can find any damn angle you want to on there. This is also a nice saw guide. If you're using a circular saw, you can get the bigger 12-inch ones. This is mainly for rough carpentry, but it definitely can be used to make fine measurements. Especially these cheaper squares, you want to check them for square, and a real easy way to do that is, you know, you got a square edge. This is a piece of particle board desk that I picked up on the side of the road. Remember, junk worker. Make you a line, come back, and see if you're right on that line. And you see that is perfectly square. So there's nothing wrong with using a square like this, especially if you're just starting out or you don't want to spend the money on it, because you don't have to have all this stuff. This will get you by just fine. Now, kind of a step up above that would be a combination square. This is an old Stanley I found at a garage sale. I don't use it that much. I don't trust these that much because they do oftentimes have a little bit of play. Now, this one's really good, and that's why I keep it in my box. But just by the nature of how they're made, you gotta watch them. Now, of course, this one's square because I made sure it was set up. But on one of these, if you go cheap, make sure you have a way to check it. And you also got 45 on that one too. And a little bitty level in there. One more thing people usually don't know about, and you shouldn't have to get a pair of pliers, but it's got a little scratch on. Probably my most commonly used every day in the shop are probably going to be these two. These came in a set for $33 on Amazon, and I love them. Man, when you tighten that down, there is no play in there. They're super handy. Eye gauging, I've been very happy with all their products. They came in a nice case, nice straight down there. And then it also came with a 6-inch one. You got a couple different scales. You got an 8ths, 16ths, 32nds, and 64ths. $33 for the set. Highly recommend this set if you got a little extra money to spend. The next two were sent to me by Fastcap, and they are what I use 99% of the time to set up my table saw, my miter saw the few times I use it, and even outside with my joiner. You can get them at Fastcap, or you can get them on Amazon for, I think, $18 for this one, and similar price for the 45 one. What's nice about these, that sucker's got a super strong magnet on it. I mean, it's got 2 neodymium magnets, however you say that. I use it to line up my blade back to 90 if I've made an angled cut. And this one I actually use to go to 45. I had a couple other ways, and granted this can't do any angle, it does 90 and 45. But it's the same premise as that one, just with a 45 edge. So I guess if you were only going to buy one, it'd be smarter just to buy this one. Although I have used this one many times when I want a smaller square, because it works just fine. It's got that little foot, I guess you could call it, on there that helps you line up against an edge. And then last up, it's not really a square, but it helps you get a square line. You can see the scale on there, and then you line that up there. There we go, in American. You want a really precise mark. This is more for fine woodworking, which I'm not quite to yet, and I don't know if I ever will be. But you can run that down now. Be careful and don't cut yourself, because this sucker is sharp. It's also by eye gauging. You can get it on Amazon. I think I got it on Amazon. It's running you probably about 18 bucks. So it's one of the cheaper ones out there. You know, when you get into fine woodworking, everything costs an arm and a leg. Alright, we got one last little section, and that's going to be some other miscellaneous measuring or angle finding tools I have. There's one that I really want to warn you about, because I definitely do not recommend buying it. I'm going to go through real quick, because any of these you don't necessarily have to have, but some of them are real nice, and there's one in this group that is a total piece of junk. First up is a dial indicator. I think I got this one for 26 bucks, dial indicator and the base, off of Amazon. I'll link it below. After having it, I recommend spending the extra 5 bucks and getting the same setup with a package of tips. I'll link that one below as well. This I also use to set up my joiner blades. Got these, I think, used. Oh yeah, definitely used, because they're snap-on. Snap-on. And it's just a set of feeler gauges. Basically, the only time I've used these is making sure my joiner tables were coplanar. This from Harbor Freight, I've been very happy with. It's their 6-inch fractional and decimal calipers, because, you know, us woodworkers, we know fractions, we don't know to the thousandths and shit like that. So it's a pretty nice little depth gauge too, and I think it goes on sale for around 10 bucks all the time. This is a little angle or magnetic angle box, angle finder box. I'll use it on my table saw if I'm finding an angle other than 45, but 45 is the most common angle I'll probably be using, so I usually use the Fastcap Set Up Block. I think this was a Wish item, and I haven't had any issues with it. It works. You set it flat, and then you put it on something, and then you tilt it, and it'll tell you your angle. These two are the same thing, both by Stanley, but a nice bevel gauge. I did restore both of these. They were both pieces of shit when I got them. If you're trying to find an angle or match an angle, these are pretty nice, especially when used in conjunction with one of these protractors. This one's actually an old Stanley made out of rosewood. While it is pretty, I don't really like it because of this sticking out. Sometimes that'll get in your way. This, I kind of touched on it, is just a protractor, help you find any angle. The center finding ruler, I got this for like $1 from Struggleville. There was a time on eBay where you get $3 off any item over $3, and this was like $3.50, so I got it. Made in USA. And as you can see, it has a normal scale at the bottom, and then it has a center finding scale at the top. Now it speeds up the process rather than having to do math. And then we got these are white side setup blocks. This was about 12 bucks for the set. You get 5 different sizes. The sizes didn't come on them, but I went ahead and took the stamping set. I went ahead and marked on them, that way I had quick reference. These are handy when setting up a saw blade for a precise cut or for your router table. I've used these more than I thought I ever would, and for the price of them, you can't beat it. This little cheapy thing, which is pretty much a combination of this and this, from Harbor Freight. I'm sure you can find better ones or more expensive ones. I never really trusted it, but it got me by until I got something better. You got your angle there you can use, and then you can also match up. This thing I don't recommend at all. It's got like a refrigerator magnet. I even emailed them about it, and this is what turned me off with Empire Tools, because at first I was a big proponent of Empire Tools. I think I've even made a video talking about how much I liked them, but after getting this one, I say no. The Harbor Freight one, which is the same price, has another magnet right here and a magnet there, and I haven't taken it out of the package, but it seems stronger to me. Sorry, Empire, but you failed on this one, and you didn't even respond to my email. I sent it like a year ago. To me, that just means that they don't give a shit. So I should just throw this in the trash, but that would be tool abuse, and we can't have that. Appreciate you stopping by and checking out some of the squares that I use on a daily basis. Yes, I know I have a little bit of a problem. And if you're wondering right now, well, Brad, where the hell did all your tools go? Well, you're just going to have to wonder a little bit longer, because I totally redid my shop. I added a couple new cabinets that I found super cheap, free actually, and I think 50 bucks for that one, and it's awesome. So I'm kind of in the middle of a new setup for the shop, which I'm really liking so far, because, you know, being in a wood shop without dust collection, or this is really my only dust collection, which this is just a box fan hooked up to a remote. And that's another project. Got shit everywhere, man. It's really nice to be able to close stuff, because I used to have all these out. I used to have to always keep this lid open, and I got tired of that. I got tired of dust being on everything. So as always, guys, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button right there. I'll holler at you next time. Peace! Quick, check out this massive fucking screwdriver I got. It was on sale at our local hardware store for $5, and it's 27 inches long. Yeah. Size matters, bitches. And I forgot to add in some... I was trying to think of a sappy square joke. It's a square deal. Don't be a square. But I don't have any. Sorry. Lame! Whoa! Shaky, shaky. Snap on.